I just want to share one more thing with you. Everybody's asking. God asked us before we stood on Mount Sinai, do you want to receive the Torah? And we said, Nishma, yes, I want it. And then it says, God lifted up the mountain over our heads and he forced us. He says, if you don't want to take it, you'll die instantly. Which has millions of meanings. But everybody's asking, it's crazy. I mean, he asked us, so it means he wants us to do it by our free will. And then he forces us. But you know, the answer is very simple. In your limited mind, it's a contradiction. Right? In my little head, the question is, are you asking me or are you forcing me? On a desert mind, it's not a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. You know, sometimes we love somebody so much, we force them to do something. But it's not forced. It's the deepest, deepest depth of love. But it's so shahada. So here I just want to say one more sweet thing. Everybody knows David HaMelech's birthday is on Shavuot. And also obviously our great-grandmother Ruth was born on Shavuot because it's her day. And we're reading the book of Ruth. I want to say it anyway. You know, for a person who's a born Jew, also you have to be unlimited, but it's maybe not so hard. If a person wants to become a Jew, mamish to become unlimited, you know how unlimited you have to be to become unlimited? I want you to know the deepest depths. Two people absolutely have to be unlimited. The person who converts, which is our grandmother Ruth, and King David, who's the master of tshuva, the master of repentance. Measure if your whole life you're accustomed to doing certain things. You see, there are certain, and I want you to open your hearts, there are certain limitations which the world puts on you. But can you imagine the limitations I put upon myself because I have certain customs? I have certain ways of living? That's the way I'm doing it. Do you know how that limits you? And to do tshuva, I'm casting off all those limitations. I'm casting off everything. And you know, in this respect here, I want you to know the deepest depths, that the last preparation before Mount Sinai was crossing the Red Sea. And obviously crossing the Red Sea was because of Yosef HaTzadik. And I want you to, do you know how much unlimited you have to be never to do wrong? How much it's unbelievable, right? Like Avraham Avinu, right? But it doesn't compare, obviously, breaking the walls, the limitations of water becoming dry land, does not compare to the unlimitedness of Mount Sinai, which is even deeper. Because Shavuos is David HaMelech. It means the unlimitedness and the absolute casting off of everything there is even deeper than crossing the Red Sea. Okay, let's go step by step. A slave is somebody who's mamish all limitations. First day of Pesach, God takes us out of slavery. But let's face it, water is water and dry land is dry land. In order to be a tzaddik, in order never to do wrong, you have to cast off the limitations of knowing that water is not water, dry land is not dry land. You're beyond that. Shavuos is even deeper. Shavuos is cast, but you know there is such a thing as dry land, and there is such a thing as water. So water becomes dry land, or dry land becomes water. But even if it's unlimited, it's still within the framework of the world. Because there is water and there is dry land. The only thing is, this is water and this is dry land, okay, I'm changing. Shavuos is, Vayerach Hashem al Har Sinai. It's even deeper than that. It's even deeper unlimitation than that. This is basically David HaMelech, it's Mashiach. You know what that means? On Shavuos we receive something so precious from heaven. That night, we receive so much holiness, and so much that we can do it. You see, before Shavuos, I'm very limited. I say last night was 35, I think I'm 36, 37, 38. I'm within time. Everybody knows the last night of Shavuos I don't count. Because it's beyond. And you know what's the saddest thing in the world is if someone says to you on Mount Sinai, God gave you the 10 Commandments. How limited, right? How small. What do you think was happening there? Moshe had some responsive reading with God, and God says, I'm the Lord. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, can you hear me, brothers and sisters, you know? Gewalt was going on. Gewalt was going on. And you know, sweetest friends, Maimonides says something so deep. Maimonides says, I'm a Jew not because of all the miracles Moshe Rabbeinu did or God did. I'm a Jew because I stood on Mount Sinai. It has millions of meanings. But right now it's really a little bit more clear. Because even to say God performs miracles, it means I say God is unlimited, right? God can change dry land to water, dry land. Even that is too small. Even that is too small. Mount Sinai, I'm a Jew because God can perform miracles. It's deeper than that. And you know what is so special? That every word of the Torah contains that unlimitedness. And here I want you to know the deepest depths. What is Torah Shebiksav and Torah Shebalpeh? Listen to this. Torah Shebiksav is God gave us one sentence in the Torah, one word. And I can take one sentence and talk about it for 2 million years. You know what Rabbi Akiva did? A letter Aleph is Aleph. Rabbi Akiva added crowns to the crowns and crowns and crowns, right? Are you crazy? It's a letter. It's so big and so small. What do you want? Because you're limited. What Rabbi Akiva saw is unlimited. And here I want you to know the deepest depths. Moshe Rabbeinu is asking God. Remember, Rabbi Akiva was killed. Mamish was too gruesome even to tell. But the Romans took iron forks and just put it through his body. You know, forks. And Moshe Rabbeinu saw it and he couldn't see it. Because God showed Moshe Rabbeinu all the great rabbis till Mashiach is coming. So God says to Moshe, you know, Zu Torah v'Zuschot, this is what you pay for the people who serve you? God says, Shtoi kach olam machshavah. Don't talk. This is the way I understand it. You know what that means? On the utmost infinite level, on the utmost infinite level. And here I want you to know something very, very deep. What do you think Rabbi Akiva was feeling at that moment? What do you think Rabbi Akiva was feeling at that moment? I want you really to open your hearts. And I heard this mamish from a person, unbelievable thing. You know, there is a medrash and also in Kabbalistic books that a person who dies for the sake of God, mamish doesn't feel any pain. Doesn't feel anything. Because you're just so exhilarated, you're just so exalted. You just don't feel anything. So I had the privilege, the old Kopitschnitzer Rebbe, my father was mamish like his chosid, I'm going to tell you the whole thing.